Oh, greetings and welcome to Trainwreck Stupidity, people. Let's see where the hell this video ends up going. On the one hand, we have a man who I'm sure needs no introduction, the wonder of wordsmithing wizardry, Razorfist, and the other, Matt I wish to secede all cultural relevance to my political opposition, Walsh. On the one side, a man, a jack of all trades when it comes to keeping his finger on the pulse of many a thing culturally and politically relevant. And on the other side, a millennial boomer, reincarnated as an 80s satanic panic era televangelist who wants to end the pulse of every modern-day piece of entertainment to the right of William F. fucking Buckley. Safe to say I might be ever so slightly biased in favor of Razorfist, seeing as I'm not going to take seriously the words of a bearded oof who thinks anime is going to usher in the emergence of the Antichrist and be responsible for the downfall of all of Western civilization. And yes, I have praised Walsh in the past when he said something sane, but a broken clock is still a broken clock. And a twat. And if you're wondering, Spoon, did you just include their names on the video primarily for this opening? Yes, I did, because it's funny. Now, this is all based on this tweet that Matt Walsh posted on X. As I've been saying for months, which is quite the indication you know nothing about politics, Democrats are embarrassed of the trans issue now. No, they aren't. At best, they recognize it's alienating some people and a dozen Marshall voters. Embarrassment implies they have some element of shame, and they don't. They're going to try to chop the T from the LGB and pretend the last 10 years never happened. Now, this video sort of follows on from the one that I did yesterday about the putting the woke away. Walsh operates under this really weird delusion that the Democrats have minds of their own. Hell, given the bollocks they swallow, I would argue they don't have any minds at all, let alone ones capable of sapience, but anyway. To which Razor replies, no they won't, incrementalism only ever moves in one direction. It can pause, briefly, to let a storm blow over, or allow the public to develop political amnesia, but it never, ever rolls backward. Something to keep in mind though, particularly with someone like Walsh, who sold his soul to become part of the Daily Wire, they tend to go either cringe or insane. Ask Jordan Peterson. The Daily Wire is not all that different from Fox News. Really, the neocons who are hawkish as all hell in favor of you-know-who. Don't be fooled by the fact they're primarily online either. Much like Fox, they aspire to shape public opinion, hence why takes from these big multi-million-dollar entities seem so bland and out of touch. It's because they are. They're trying to set the course and its parameters, not simply comment on it. Once you click this, you'll realize their wrong predictions are really their own inadequacies trying to alter the narrative's trajectory. Ben Shapiro is a good example of this. Take a look at his prediction record versus, say, Styx. Well, Styx makes Shapiro look like this barely literate amateur. So, with that being said, let me show you some clips, starting with the one I used in the last video.
The right has a propaganda machine at its disposal that hums on for 24 hours a day. We desperately need a left-wing media ecosystem that rivals what they have on the right.
Huge part of the story that it's hard to even digest fully at this moment. But you have Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, X, who is a disinformation propagandist and now has could potentially have a direct line to the Oval Office.
Because Elon Musk runs one of the most influential internet platforms, or at least it used to be, formerly known as Twitter, and he has essentially turned that platform into a pro-Trump, pro-authoritarian disinformation machine.
Would you kindly shut your noise hole?
Where he just posts vile bigotry and disinformation that millions of people see and share.
God, you're boring.
Now look at the left and realize, literally nothing those imbeciles advocate for runs on objectively correct information of anything. Could see this in the last election, where they nominated this moron who was apparently instrumental in all of the wonderful things the administration supposedly did. As she had to pivot away from them, because the regime was about as popular as monkeypox in a brothel, it also failed to differentiate herself from it, all the while simping for a political pitch that requires one to be as divorced from reality as much as humanly possible, and run against someone who ran a better administration, focused far more on policy, and was far more entertaining. Needless to say about the appearance of magical 3 AM bleached tree pulp, the quiet expectation was the Dawn would do rather well. Never mind take all 7 swing states. Now, you might notice something else. There's a common theme in all of these clips, especially when you look at phrases like misinformation, disinformation, propaganda, etc., etc. All these stupid phrases are code words anyway. Now, as I said before in a previous video, that information itself means nothing. Humans are hardware with an operating system and an antivirus. They respond to the set parameters, that is, their programming. The information itself needs to fit in a framework. Now, given that one side does not care at all about objectively correct information, think of it like this. Imagine you've been tuned to hear a certain frequency. Let's call it frequency right. And this animates you. You hear it clearly. It's prime signal. But then there's another frequency called frequency left. And this frequency is just noise, low humming. It's just kind of there. And then there's another group of people, and they've been tuned to hear frequency left. This animates them. That is their prime signal. The difference, however, is while frequency left to you is low humming noise, frequency right drives them completely apeshit. If you really want to change a leftist, recognize chucking dissident or right-wing information is impotent. It'll do jack shit. You first need to tinker inside their heads, change the reception mechanism. Then you can try animating them with frequency right. Essentially, what you can boil this whole apparatus down to is the management and manipulation of the people's operating systems and their frequency. And that's really about it. That is all the information war is really about. No politician gives a flying crap about what the people really want. I mean, look at their budget proposals, for heaven's sakes. Think of it like this. Leftism is a foodstuff and woke is a flavor, or in this case, a frequency. And the left's prime frequency simply wasn't animating as hard as the right's prime frequency. However, throwing a coat of black paint on a zebra doesn't change it to a horse. It's still a damn zebra. Much the same way a scalpel isn't going to change you from Brad to Brenda, but anyway. The left are not going to change what they believe in. They can't. To change their beliefs is to no longer be a leftist.
We do a little trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
This might explain why the entire information ecosphere is behaving as if the genie is now out of the lamp and they can't resubmerge. What's interesting, and I suspect this is what Orrin was alluding to in my last video, is their only recourse now is to cull off the opposition's animating frequency, which I'm going to be honest looks very desperate to me, but we'll wait and see. The task right now, if they behave as Academic Agent was alluding to, is for all three levels of the less regime program to re-examine. The Magna programmers have to recognize their little social engineering revolution is not going to work. Mussolini was correct. The Magnet actors need to get with the new programming, well, provided they actually get one. It takes, and they haven't gone insane from the last 10 years. And the plebs need to be given something to believe in that doesn't alienate the rest of society and go so insane the opposition's animation frequency gets cranked, aka don't repeat 2024. Just as Razor pointed out, to lull the public into political amnesia. Good luck with that last part, considering what just transpired. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.